Hello, everybody. Welcome to Live from the Tower, your weekly Destiny show. And we've got a bit of news from Bungie, nothing too major, just some things to kind of update the Season of the Wish because we are in I'd guess you'd call it a content drought. And then just something I wanted to touch on towards the end of the episode after we go through the news. So, the big thing that they show off in trials, well, we're going to be talking about trials. The big thing they show off in the TWAB is that we are getting updated weapon pools for Trials of Osiris, Nightfalls, and Iron Banner. So we know that they've said, let's see here, we are going to be getting a new scout rifle in Trials called the Prophet. That's going to be in the loot pool, that's going to be the featured weapon March 17th. The Summoner auto rifle's coming back to the game. That's going to be the featured weapon on... That doesn't seem right. I have here 316. I think it's 36. Let me double check before I tell you the wrong date. I mean, it's in TWAB. You can always check my math on this one. I'm sorry. Where are we? What am I looking at? The Prophet is March 19th. I have March 17th because it is week 17 of the season. So the Prophet is on March 19th, and the Summoner auto rifle is going to be on March 12th, which is week 16. So let me make sure I've got these dates right. So the Prophet Scout rifle from Trials is going to be I just had the page, is going to be March 19th, which is week 17. The Summoner auto rifle is going to be March 12th, which is week 16. For Iron Banner, we are getting the Tusk of the Boar grenade launcher, and the multi-mach submachine gun is coming back to the game. Tusk of the Boar is new. Tusk of the Boar and the multi-mach are both returning April 2nd. And then for the Nightfall, we have a new grenade launcher called the Wild Style and a new sword called the Slammer Sword. The Slammer Sword will also be available March 19th, and the Wild Style grenade will be the first weapon we get on March 5th. So that's just about a month away until we start getting new weapons. So you have a month to kind of play with everything we have. They're not replacing anything. They've made sure to stay that this is going to be additive, not replacements. One note, they have some notes on some of the guns, and I'm just going to read the ones that they've have annotations for. So for the Tusk of the Boar, it will be the only obtainable strand wave frame breech-loaded grenade launcher as of 7.3.5. The Wild Style will be this is only the second double fire frame breech-loaded grenade launcher in the game. I don't know what the first is. You let me know down in the comments. And the Slammer Sword is the second stasis sword in the game with cold steel besides the Dawning Sword Zephyr. And it is also the first Vortex frame stasis sword. I think Vortex frame is the one that is it the caster sword or is it the spin to win? Like the falling guillotine. I don't know, but we will deal with that when we get there. So another update is because this season is so long and because the episodes following the final shape are going to be longer than regular seasons, we are getting updated pools for these weapons. So the Nightfall pool and the Iron Banner pool are going to be 8 guns in the entire pool, and the Trials pool is going to be 6 guns because what they don't want happening is the adept versions of these guns kind of not getting their own time to be acquired and being a little shorted. In other news, we do have 2 more Iron Banners that are coming to Destiny before the final shape. They both take place in the month of April. One at the beginning of the month on the 2nd, and one at the end of the month on the 3rd, which means we're going to have all of May with the 0 Iron Banner, which I think is a little weird. I would have much rather have seen Iron Banner kind of spaced out like previously in previous iterations, especially looking back at Destiny 1. It felt a bit more spaced out, and it felt like we got more banners. But, they're giving us 2 more. That's great. I haven't played a bunch because I heard that banners was a bit unbearable last time it was around, so we'll see. I do miss playing PvP, that's for sure. Another big thing which started this week and it's going to continue until the final shape launches is we are getting 700 Bright Dust per week for free. You just log in, go to the Eververse shop, and it'll be there probably on the front page, that's really cool because I don't know how many were, like 100 and something days, right? So that's a good amount of Bright Dust to get before the final shape if you're someone like me who kind of wants to hoard it. I did buy Pale Rider this week because, in my opinion, it's one of the best ornaments in the game for any exotic gun, and yeah, I mean, even though I don't use Fourth Horseman, it makes Fourth Horseman look even cooler. But yeah, Bright Dust is actually going to come into play into something we're going to talk about here in a couple minutes. And the next big thing is the Armor Synth bounty refresh. I don't have the exact date. I'm going to try and pull it up back into the TWAB. So we are getting an Armor Synthesis bounty refresh. And let me see here, on March 5th to be exact. And they said this is going to behave like a standard seasonal reset. So we will have 8 available bounties per character. So this is a good time to get more Synthweave and stockpile it for Transmog, which I might have to do. And that is going to lead out the news. That's all kind of the big news I've seen the past couple of days. I haven't seen too much, but that's everything they said in the TWAB. So again, nothing really major. If you're a collector, this is cool. We're getting new guns. If you're into the cosmetics, we're getting Bright Dust. We're getting Armor Synth bounties. If you somehow are still hanging on to PvP, God bless you. We're getting 2 more banners. You're getting new Trials guns. So it's nice to see them do something. We still have no idea what this Into the Light update coming in 2 months is going to be. We do still have Moments of Triumph going on right now, but that doesn't really add too much to the game, so we'll see what happens. And this leads me kind of to what I wanted to talk about today, and that is making your own fun. And I may have touched on this on a previous podcast episode, but I'm kind of at a point in Destiny where I've actually been playing Destiny 1 a bit more than Destiny 2, and I've seen people have the same kind of sentiment in various places where, you log in and you just kind of see all the seasonal stuff just like thrown at you. It gets a little disorienting and, it gets kind of boring. I did release that short where I said that seasonal challenges are just bounties, and I still stand by that, but I've also pivoted and I am attempting to make a new, not a new stand, but I'm attempting to forge my own path. Because I got to thinking about Destiny 1 and the content droughts that we had during that game and what kind of kept me coming back. Now, I was, I had only started playing during Taken King, so there was stuff I could do, there was stuff I could catch up on. I wasn't stuffed to the brim of my vault with gear, but there was stuff to do and stuff to chase. And when I think about Destiny 2, we get so caught up in the FOMO of the season. We get so caught up in hitting rank 100. We get so caught up in chasing the title. We get so caught up in, I need to get this done before it goes away. Which is a shame because to me, that takes away from the game. And nobody can deny that that's a tactic to get people to keep playing, right? I think we can all agree, no matter how you feel about the game, the seasonal model, the seasonal pass, it's a way for Bungie to make money, and it's a way for them to keep us coming back as daily active users and monthly active users to kind of keep their numbers afloat. There was a report put out by Paul Tassi that numbers are at a trough. It's like a peak low. I don't know if that's the right word. I could be mispronouncing it or using the wrong word entirely, but numbers are roughly at a peak low. And I'm not surprised. You come off an expansion which was widely panned, right? Nobody liked it as much as they did Witch Queen. I'm not saying people hated it. I mean, people really didn't like the story, but that's another discussion for another day. But you get what I'm saying. And then you come out with the seasons, which Season of Defiant, everyone was like, Season of the Deep, everyone was like, oh, this is kind of good. Season of the Witch, everyone was like, this is good. And Season of the Witch people like because of Coil. That's great, that's fantastic. But when you get stuck on this train and, I was watching a Mylands game video where the developers have kind of realized this, and they know that their game is getting predictable, and they know it's the problem with the seasonal model in and of itself, because it's all about getting out content fast. You think back to the GDC slideshow where it's what's the most important thing? Getting it out right away. It's not about how good it is, it's about how fast we can get it out. And when you get to the point we're at now, this is the third season that has to be extended because the expansion is delayed. Right? Season of Arrivals was a big delayed season. Season of the Lost was a big, and Season of the Arrivals, I think we all kind of give a pass because that was when the big sick happened. But Season of the Lost was another long season. And I'm trying to think what the last season of the Seraph I don't think was extended. I think Season of the Seraph was extended. I don't remember. It's been a while. It's been almost 2. Has it been almost 2 years since Witch Queen came out? I think we're getting maybe a year and a half. But in any regard, in any case, we're now on another season that's been extended. As far as we know, there's no 30th anniversary pack, which was substantial. And we didn't need to get that, but Bungie wanted to do it because I think they realized if they didn't do it, people are going to stop playing the game and their numbers are going to drop and revenue is going to fall off and that, this, that, and the third. But we know from reports there's no big 30th anniversary event that's coming out. We have Into the Light, we don't know what it is. So what do you do? Right? And I'm sure there's stuff to do. You have titles to chase. You have grandmasters to do, and that's all well and good. But what I've decided and what I've kind of started doing is I've started to make my own fun. So I looked at Season of the Wish. And I really thought about what I did during Season of Arrivals. Because Beyond Light was said to be this really next big step for the game. So Season of the Arrivals, I really, hunkered down, and even to an extent Season of the Lost, I made a list of like, this is the stuff I want to do as my own sort of preparation. I don't want to inherently follow all the systems that are in the game because they there's no Guardian Ranks tries to do this, but there's no, I don't know if cohesion's the right word, but there's no straight path to follow. And Guardian Ranks is great if you're trying to see content, but when you have a quest log that's filled with a bunch of stuff, there's not a thing where it's like, okay, you should do this quest first, this quest first, this quest first. And that's just the nature of Destiny. That's not a knock at the game, it's just the nature of the game, that's fine. There's a problem with being overwhelmed, but that's, for another time. So I looked at the game, I looked at what I had, and I looked at what I wanted to do. And the first thing I thought was, well, I want to stock up Bright Dust, because if Final Shape is going to have some really cool cosmetics, I want to be in on that. I want to have a stockpile of Bright Dust, so when something comes out, I don't even have to think. I just grab it, slap it on. Nice. right? So I wrote that down. And then I was thinking to myself, and I said, well, you know, I almost have the Season of Defiance triumph, and I want the Queen's Guard title. I think it's a really nice, in my head, in the role-playing part of my brain, it's a really nice, not antithesis, but it's the other side of the coin, right? Iron Lord, Queen's Guard. I think it was really great. So I wrote that down. Then I started writing, well, okay, this could be the last year of traditional seasons. Well, let me look at what I need to get the rest of the titles for the seasons, because we know the expansions are never sunset again. So the Neomuna we can get. And with Fire Team Finder, it's even easier to go and you know, if you need to do the master mission or whatever, you know. So that's all well and good. So I wrote down all the triumphs for Defiant that I need, all the triumphs for Deep I still need, and all the triumphs for Wish I still need, because I had Witch. I have the Hero Packs or the Hero Po, whatever the title's called for Season of the Witch. So I wrote all that down. And then I said, all right, well, I want to stockpile Bright Dust, so I want to do challenges to stockpile Bright Dust. I want to hit rank 100 because I think the ornaments are nice this season. So I wrote that down. And I started looking at this list, and I said to myself, this seems a lot more fun than opening up Destiny and opening up my quest log and seeing 5 quests for Star-Crossed Legends, and then Riven's Wishes quest, and then the Vex Caliber quest, and it's just like, well, what do I do first? Where I look at this list with everything written down, and I say, well, they're all kind of connected. Like, I've done like 5 challenges today because I was just using Sunshot in all of my activities, which is great. So I think now is the perfect time to sort of detach yourself from the way Destiny wants you to play it. And play it how you want to play it. You know, if you're sitting there and you're saying to yourself, I want full raid and dungeon sets by Final Shape. Like, nothing else matters to me. I implore you, go and do it. You have Fire Team Finder, most people are in clans, go and do it. If you say to yourself, I want to make sure all my characters, and this is actually something on my list, I want to make sure all my characters are caught up with all the expansions. Seasons be damned, I just want all the expansions wrapped up so I can dump my quest log, and then when Final Shape comes, I have a clean slate. Go and do it. If you want to delete your vaults and delete your inventory so you have fresh bags for Final Shape, which I'm going to be doing partially, go and do it. This is the time. All right, Final Shape comes out in June, right? So we're in February, March, April, May. We have just about 4 months, maybe 4.5. We've got about 4.5 months in which you can do whatever you want. If you say, you know what, my vault's pretty good, my bags are empty, I've got synthesis stockpiled, I've got enough Bright Dust piled, my friends aren't really playing consistently, I'm kind of getting burnt out, put the game down. Put the game down, play something else. Play something like, where's Final Fantasy VII? You know, Final Fantasy VII's coming out. Go play that, right? Play all the games you got for Christmas you haven't touched yet. You know? There's things to do, whether it's in the game or out of the game, but I think this is the perfect point to make your own fun. However that is, whether it's playing Destiny or taking a step back. I think it's a great opportunity to kind of evaluate how you're feeling about the game and to make sure that you take the steps you need to be excited and be ready to play Final Shape with fresh eyes. That's personally what I'm going to be doing. That's what I hope all of you are going to be doing in the coming months. But with all that being said, thank you so much for listening on wherever you get your podcasts. And if you're on YouTube, thank you so much for watching on YouTube. And until next time, fly safe, Guardians.